Guys, deluded. Let's speak about Argentina's World Cup chances. They just about scraped through. They just about scraped through and qualified. I'm not going to get into it. It's well documented how Messi was on the verge of not making the World Cup. They had some shameful defeats. I mean, they lost to Ecuador. There's no shame in losing to Chile. And Bolivia's a side they should be beating. And they might have lost more. Again, I'm not going to get into it. I can't lie, off topic, you know when countries, people have these sort of things where they're just about struggling to qualify, and I mean, it's Messi's last real chance. Of course, he'll make 2022, but he won't be in his peak powers. In fact, he turns 31 during this competition. These are the sort of things that makes these countries win these sort of things. When you look back in hindsight, you look back at Spain, they lost their first group game in 2010. There was a bit of disarray to a degree. They went and done it. You look at many times United and Arsenal, there's been times in their seasons it's completely different, but there's been times when they've won league titles where certain things have just gone either very wrong and it's happened greatly for them, or they've got the rub of the green sort of thing. So we'll see that, man. I must admit, of all the big nations, I believe they have the least chance, which is why I give them the most chance of probably winning the World Cup, because I'm the one saying they got the least chance, and things always, the opposite of what I say tends to happen. Argentina, you've got to respect them. I mean, yeah, they barely scraped through, and their defensive prospects or the way they set up is quite dodgy, but they've got Lionel Messi. You have to respect them. They have Lionel Messi. Yes, they bottled 2 cup finals, 2 Copa Americas, I believe, against Chile. But they still got to the final of it. I mean, yes, Copa America, it's Argentina, Brazil. All these sides are expected to get there. And there's not really that much competition for them. But they still got there. So we can kind of give them a plus. Can we, people, that they got there? I don't know. I'm having a hard time selling this to myself, to be fair, people. Stan Paoli, the manager of Argentina, done his thing at Seville. Tactical nous and things. I don't really see the tactical madness for Argentina. So whether that's the players not believing the player in his system, it's simply not working. He doesn't really be unsure. The players just not being a good fit. There's several reasons as to why it might not happen. And obviously, you get more time training at a club than you do internationally, and all of these 11 on the pitch that will be on the pitch for Argentina, and everybody in the 23-man squad plays for a club which they have to adopt their own tactics. So it is hard for them. Of course, we could sit here and list the great attacking players they have. Lionel Messi alone gives them a chance of winning the World Cup. Higuain, he's a bottler, but he's scoring hella goals. They didn't bring a Cardi, sadly, but they've got Dybala and someone I would like to see, Pavon, and did Martinez go? He might not have made the final cut. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but I know Dybala's there, and it's a chance for him to step up. So they've got a good amount of attacking players. Defensively, I'm not sure. Otamendi's been in good form. If I was them, I'd start him. What's the other centre-half that's been in good form? There's another Argentinian centre-half that's been in good form. But again, I'm looking at the left-back. I'm looking at the right-back. Fair enough. If I don't know, I'm not going to sit here and say I know the homegrown Argentinian men that are in that side. But it just doesn't fill me with confidence. It does look a bit rubbed. And it does look like the team is overly reliant on Messi. Add Di Maria into that of attacking players. So it's not just Messi. Everybody needs to turn up. We need to respect them. Like if we go back 4 years ago, more or less, this Argentina side were in the World Cup final. Messi got player of the tournament. I don't know how, but he got player of the tournament. He dragged them through, essentially. And he got them to the World Cup final. So we need to respect them. Like, you have to respect them. Just because they look rubbed, and I must admit, of all the top sides, if I was Argentine, if I was looking at all of them, I'd be the least confident about Argentina. But you have to respect them. Like, you have to. I'm not too sure defensively. Attackingly, they're great. Defensively, they're a bit shaky. At times, it looks like they try to do this high press thing, and it looks like players don't really know what they're doing. So I don't know what's going to happen in that regards. But if you can't, as childish as it seems, if you can't beat Chile twice, getting 2 chances in a final and you bottle it, how can you expect to beat Germany and Brazil and all of these sides? Like, it doesn't make sense. They're in a tasty group. I expect them to get through Group D. They've got their best friends nowadays in Nigeria. They're always bucking each other in these competitions. They've got Croatia, Modric, all of that's not going to be easy. Iceland, you'd expect Argentina to beat Iceland, but you need to rate them. They thrive on the underdog status. England ripped them off in the last competition, international competition. What happened to England? So you need to respect them. I believe Argentina will top this group, but it will be tasty. And when you consider their form in regards to qualifying, if we quantify the form and just about scraping through, they'll just about scrape through here, but it might not be convincing. In their 3 friendlies, they've They beat Italy. They won 2-0. Italy are not in the tournament, but that's another big nation. They obviously lost 6-1 to Spain. They didn't have the majority of their players out there, their full strength side. And I remember watching that. But the way they got beat up on that day, ridiculous. They beat Haiti 4-0. And they didn't obviously play the game against Israel because of the whole geopolitical things behind it. We don't need to get into that. Credit to Messi for having the balls to do that. So yeah, man, for me they should be inspired. Like, the one thing that can, if they're to have any chance, if I was the manager of this side, I would not admit it, but I'd look at that squad and say, well, okay, our squad collectively isn't, we got Messi, but excluding him, it isn't levels to the rest. What we can fight on, what we can play to our advantage is heart and commitment. And while I say that, Di Maria, Messi, they might not necessarily make the next World Cup. They both retired temporarily, Messi, I'm sure, from international football. So there could be a lot of critiques that they put wrong that people have said about them with that. There's young players, Lo Celso, Pavon, provided they start, Dybala could be thrown into that want to prove themselves, that want to be adored by the Argentinian fans. If I'm any of them young Argentinian players, or Messi, Maradona is the benchmark. Of course, none of them will ever be Maradona, but you should want to go down in history like Maradona of winning this World Cup thing. Like, there's enough, inspiration is what could separate Argentina now. Because if I look at tactics, if I look at personnel, excluding Messi, like I've said, it is a bit gazy. But desire, hunger, passion, and commitment, and riding on the whole national pride thing and being siege mentality, if they just become 11, pardon my language, 11 bastards versus the rest, you'd be surprised what man could do with that. Heart, desire, and belief can take you more places and take players more places than tactical nous or technical ability. I have seen several players, and they're playing in lower leagues and stuff. Several players, amazing technique, amazing mind when it comes to tactics, but there's something missing. And you've seen players, you're seeing it in the Premier League, players that do not have hardly any ability. They've got passion, heart, and they've got something as to why they're there. Of course, Premier League and international football isn't the same, but you get the point. That's the centre-half I was thinking of. Fazio, he's come a long way from his Spurs days. Again, I don't watch these man instantly, so feel free to disagree, but if on my knowledge, I'm going with Fazio and Otamendi through the middle in regards to centre halves. Fullback's a bit gazy, I'm not sure. But then you've got Mascherano. You can play in midfield by this age. But yeah, man, we'll see what Argentina is saying, as we will with the others, man. I'm keen to see what happens. And on that note, I'm not going to keep you guys longer than I need to. Guys, deluded. In fact, before I go, do you, man, think this is Messi's last chance? Or girls, whoever's watching this, do you actually believe this is Messi's last chance? Because if I'm Messi, I'm doing what I did in 2014 times 1,000 to make sure this happens. I'm not even letting it get to a point where Higuain bottled it and missing all them chances. I'm putting it in myself. Same way, if I'm, to a degree, a lot of this could apply to Portugal and Ronaldo. But yeah, man, there's nothing more to be said. Guys, deluded, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.